Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And Shalom to the Akim and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. Alright. I found this article today while looking around, and it reads, a white father and son charged for chasing and shooting at black FedEx driver. So I wanted to, this piqued my interest when I saw it. So I read a little bit to see if I could go in a lesson on it. And through the Spirit, Yahweh Shai put the Spirit on me to make this lesson. Okay. So it says, this image shows one of the bullet holes left in the van that DeMontario Gibson was driving for FedEx. CNN, two white men are facing criminal charges after a black FedEx Express driver alleged that he was chased and shot at while delivering packages in Brookhaven, Mississippi. When he called to report the shooting, he says he was told by the dispatcher that they had just received a call about a suspicious person at the same address. Okay. DeMontario Gibson, 24 years old, told CNN by phone he was delivering packages to the home around 7 p.m. on January 24th when he saw a white pickup truck coming from the house behind it. The truck started approaching Gibson and blowing the horn at him, Gibson said. The van Gibson was driving was a Hertz rental van that had two large Hertz stickers on the back, Gibson said. Gibson's attorney, Carlos E. Moore, told CNN that Gibson was wearing a FedEx jacket, shirt, and pants, but that the vehicle had no FedEx markings. Gibson said that he thought he was in the truck's way, so he tried to leave, but the truck swerved around him and tried to cut him off. At that point, my instincts kicked in and swerved around him as he is trying to cut me off and avoid getting stuck in the neighborhood, he said. Gibson said he drove down the street about 2 or 3 houses when a man in the middle of the road pointed a gun at his vehicle and was mouthing and waving at Gibson to stop. Gibson said he shook his head no to indicate he wasn't going to stop and then hid behind his steering wheel while he swerved around him. That's when Gibson heard at least 5 gunshots and heard the bullets hitting the van, according to the incident report filed January 25th by the Brookhaven Police Department after officers met with Gibson and his boss. He was leaving the neighborhood, Gibson said. One of his managers called, and he told the manager someone was shooting at him. She told him to get back to the station as soon as he could. The truck, now with both men inside, chased Gibson out of Brookhaven into the interstate. Alright. Says, we'll skip that part. Brandon Case was charged, I guess it was one of these guys. Alright, Brandon Case was charged with felonious attempting to cause bodily injury with a firearm and a deadly weapon by shooting at an occupied vehicle with Gibson inside, according to an affidavit provided by CNN by the Brookhaven Municipal Court, signed January 31st. Alright. So, it seems that these guys, I'm guessing that's the father, that's the son, alright, they're the two Edomites that went ahead and did this, alright. And another thing I want to touch on, alright, was that these guys got charged with feloniously attempting to cause bodily injury, alright, and you know if that was a so-called Jake that did something like this, it would have been considered attempted murder, alright, but these guys just got attempting to cause bodily injury with a firearm, alright, and a deadly weapon. That's all they got, alright. So, what this made me want to go in on, alright, is Esau, alright, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, alright, and what's going to happen to them, alright. So this is Genesis, alright, 27 and 41, and it reads, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Okay, and this is the mindset of Esau Edom, alright, the so-called white man, alright. And this is because of the blessing, okay, because Esau had the blessing, not because Esau had the blessing, alright, he does have a blessing of the sword, alright, but Jacob's blessing of salvation, alright, because of that blessing, alright, Esau hates Jacob, alright, because he thinks that was supposed to be his blessing, alright, because it was originally his, alright, but he sold it, alright, and you got all these Edomites, alright, on every time you look up something about Esau, alright, and hate, There's always the scripture that comes up, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. All right, and these Christians are always trying to go in and break it down and understand why that is. All right, and they say a lot of blasphemous things when they go into those scriptures. All right, they're like, well, why would God allow that? Because Jacob stole it. He was a thief, and he didn't deserve it. And it just, you can tell by the way that they talk about those things in those articles and those Christian websites. All right, that they're Edomites. All right, because that situation pisses them off, because deep down inside they know that they're Esau. All right. So this is the situation. All right, this is where it all goes back to. All right, and Esau hates us and we hate Esau. All right, Esau being the so-called white man. All right, as well as Jacob being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're called now. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily mean skin color has anything to do with it. This isn't a skin color thing. This is a heritage thing. All right, but I wouldn't be surprised if the YouTube people get all pissed off about this. All right, because they're a bunch of Edomites. All right, like I said, I'll say it again. All right, this isn't a skin color thing. This is a heritage thing. All right, you're gonna have so-called white-looking people. All right, that go back to Jacob. All right, and you're gonna have so-called dark-skinned people, or dark-skinned people. All right, that go back to Esau. All right. Now it's a good determining factor. All right, skin color can be, but it's not 100% definite. And bear with me, my computer's. I don't want to do that. What's going on? But anyway, Obadiah 1:10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right. So when Yahweh Shem Yahushai comes back, all right, to deliver his elect, okay, Salakia, his elect, what's going to happen is that Esau Edom, all right, is going to be killed, all right, in Babylon the Great. All right, speaking of in Babylon the Great, all right, Esau is going to be cut off, all right, as in they're going to be killed, all right, and then we're all of us, all right. So here, let me explain that better. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to come back. He's going to deliver his elect, all right, and he's also going to kill the other heathen nations, all right, as well as Esau Edom, all right. So that's talking about so-called Chinese people, all right, so-called Arabic people, all right, so-called I don't know if I said white people, so-called white people, all right, as well as, all right, the 2/3 of Israel, all right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and black people, all right, that are 2/3, all right, that have not been predestinated to be saved by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right. So all those people are going to die, all right, in Babylon the Great, okay, and then, all right, once the new kingdom comes, all right, wherein Jacob's going to rule righteously, all right, those the Edomites, all right, are going to go into slavery, all right, the other heathen nations are going to go into slavery, all right, and then the 2/3 are going to have to be reborn as babies, all right. Meanwhile, the elect, all right, are going to be transferred over into a new body, all right, and they won't have to be reborn, okay, like in a situation like that, okay. So when it says thou shalt be cut off forever, all right, so they're going to be killed, all right. And now in the kingdom, all right, after 1,000 years, okay, the slavery, all right, is gonna be abolished. Now the other heathen nations will still be under us, all right. They're not going to rise up in rulership, all right, but the slavery will be done, all right. But after the 1,000 years, all right, Esau is going away. The other heathen nations, all right, they're going to go to their dwelling places and they're going to dwell there. They will be under us. We will still be ruling over them. All right, but Esau Edom is not going to have a dwelling place. All right, they're going to be cut off after 1,000 years. They're done. All right, which means they're poof, gone, vanished, never to be heard of, never to be seen of. All right, you're not going to see Edomites. You're not going to hear of Edomites. Well, you might still hear of Edomites. We don't know exactly how it's going to go, but you definitely won't see them. All right, because there will not be any Edomites. They'll be cut off forever and ever. Okay, so that's the situation at hand. All right, and this all goes back to because Esau Edom, all right, Idumea, the several names for them, all right, so-called white men, all right, because of the things that they done to Jacob, all right, and the way that they didn't listen to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right, didn't hearken after his words, okay, and he was a wicked person, all right, and he was a wicked ruler, he still is, all right. So this is the situation, all right, when Egypt, all right, being Babylon the Great, all right, spiritual Babylon the Great, spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, Babylon the Great being the United States, all right, mentioned here is Egypt. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for thy violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. All right, so by being a desert, a desolate wilderness, all right, this place can be turned into basically a big nuke hole. All right, a desolate wilderness. All right, and if you look up desolate, it means nothingness. All right, deserted of people in a state of bleak and dismal emptiness. All right, a waste. All right, a desert, inhospitable. All right, unoccupied. All right, this place is going away. All right, now it's not literally going away. All right, it's going to be destroyed, as in all the people here are going to be destroyed entirely. All right, and then the new kingdom will be established, and Babylon the Great will still be a place, all right, because we're not going to a different earth. It's going to be the same earth. It's just going to be purified, all right, and cleansed, all right, from the blood that's been spilled in land, all right, but no one's going to inhabit Babylon the Great again, all right. We're not going to be living in Babylon the Great. It's basically just going to be a place of wilderness, all right. Animals might dwell there. Don't quote me on that, all right, but as far as people living there, that won't be happening, all right. It'll basically be a big desert, all right. Now, and speaking of the children of Judah, all right, this can be basically can be used to talk about all of Israel, all right, because Edom has done wickedness to all of Jacob, all right, while Judah being the one that was the one that everybody knows about, all right, with slavery and whatnot, but Issachar and Gad, their situations are terrible as well, all right. With the Gadites, with their land being taken away and being, raped and murdered, all right, and the same situation's happening with Issacharites, okay. Now this is Psalms 52 and 5 through 52 and 7, all right. It says, the Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever, and he shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living, Selah, all right. Where's Esau Edom's dwelling place right now? All right, it's Babylon the Great. All right, for the most part, you got some of the elites over in Europe as well. All right, but Babylon the Great is the primary place. All right, the righteous also shall see and fear and shall laugh at him. The righteous being the elect. All right, so they're going to see this, and Lord willing, we're part of the number. We're going to laugh at them. All right. Lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trusted in abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in wickedness. All right, Esau, Edom. That's what they do. They think riches equal power. All right. So the more money you got in the society, the more power you have in the society. All right. That's why they control the wealth. Isaiah 34 and 5 to 34 and 6. For my sword, all right, and this is speaking of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right, Yahushai. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, all right, Idumea being Esau, Edom, all right, it's another name for them, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, and it is made fat with fatness, and the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. All right, so it's showing you throughout these scriptures, all right, what the Most High thinks of Esau, Edom, all right, and Idumea, all right. It's not a good light. Obadiah 1 and 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, all right, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it, all right. And like I've done it before with stubble, you know what stubble is. All right, when you're not supposed to be shaving, but back in the world when you shave, all right, and you get all the hairs off, all right, and it's all just stubble. It's nothing, all right. It's basically just nothing, all right. If you would consider a place to be stubble, all right, it would just be ruins, all right, little pieces of rock, all right. That's it. Obadiah 1:15 through 18, all right. This is continuing along the same matter, all right. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, all right, not just Esau, Edom, all the heathen, all right. So all the heathen nations that are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall be, thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Okay, so Esau, Edom, all right, Ishmael, all these heathen nations, all right, what they have done to us, all right, is going to be returned unto them. All right, all these heathen nations have put us into captivity, all right, and they're going to go into captivity. All right, they were murdered relentlessly. All right, we were murdered relentlessly. They're going to be murdered relentlessly. All right, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. All right, so all these heathen nations that have all this gold too. All right, and they have multiple possessions. All right, but I'm going to use gold as one of them. All right, all that gold's coming back to us because it's our gold in the first place. All right, they just took it from us. Okay, 19, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall. All right, continuing on, so lucky about that. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. All right. So again, on the same matter. All right. Esau's going away. All right, permanently. After they serve their captivity. All right, and their punishment. Ecclesiasticus 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, all right? And right now, the kingdom that's set up right now, all right, is Esau, Edom's kingdom. All right, now, of course, that's going to be destroyed, and the kingdom is going to be translated over us, and we're going to have our own kingdom, all right? That's a whole lot better, all right? And we're going to dwell righteously, all right? Another scripture that I wanted to get was, right here, 2nd Esdras 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. And lastly, all right, this is I'm gonna close out on these two scriptures. All right, and this is what's coming to you, Edomites out there. All right, Psalms 2:8 to 2:9. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. All right, so we're gonna have heathens, all right, in our captivity, all right, and we're gonna rule the world, all right. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, and thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel, all right. So you're gonna be getting broken like pots, all right. It's not looking good for you Edomites, all right, and you other heathen nations, all right. And lastly, I'm gonna close out on this. This is Isaiah 14:1 through 2. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. All right, so this is what's in store for you heathen nations. All right. So with that, I'm going to close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right, a little bit of a shorter lesson. All right, just wanted to touch on that subject. All right, Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, that great millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until the next one, Lord willing, Shalom.